Thank you very much, Ambassador Ziad Al-Dries, for the wonderful hospitality we have been enjoying during the last couple of days and the wonderful debate that we are having. This for us is a unique opportunity to meet each other also as academics, and I will come back to that at the end of my presentation. As the ambassador mentioned, I am connected to the Cross-Cultural Human Rights Center, and so is my colleague Serge Kamgau, who spoke yesterday. This is a consortium of different universities across the world, mainly from the global south. There are mainly Chinese, Asian, and African universities and scholars part of that, and we are expanding. We are currently inviting people from the Caribbean and also from Southeast Asia. And of course, we would warmly welcome scholars from the Plan Arabia region as well and universities. So we are open to working with you in this area. The aim of the center is to draw attention to the great ideas and concepts in the area of human rights that are being exchanged in the global south, but not are very well known in the north. So we bring these ideas to northern audiences of policymakers, scholars, to make sure that they familiarize with them and that this will not be one-way traffic from the north to the south as it currently sometimes is. A secretariat of the center is being set up now at the Free University in Amsterdam, which is the most diverse university in the Netherlands, and it has, for example, the highest percentage of Muslim students in the Netherlands. And all of this has been made possible by the Dutch Foreign Office in the person of somebody who's very well known in this group, Ambassador Lionel Veer, who has been supportive of this project very much. One of the projects that we are involved in, and which is very relevant for today, is a project where we show what a very valuable contribution has been made by Muslims in Western European countries. And the aim of the project is to stop the process of exclusion that is happening at the moment. We want to reduce tensions and we want to reduce exclusion. We want to make clear that for generations Muslims have given their best to these West European societies, not only by way of labor, but also spiritually, intellectually. They're very, very valuable members of our societies. And therefore the project aims at setting up dialogue and increasing mutual understanding. The time has come for members of the majorities in these countries to accept that Muslims can enjoy their identity and be part of their religion and still be very valuable members of the societies they're in. And hopefully through this project we will reduce the tensions, the exclusions, and also the climate which might lead to extremism and terrorism. Now the problem of course is that in Western European countries, politicians and media, but I hate to say also the academics, often say that these tensions between Muslims and majorities are caused by the fact that Muslims do not share the majority values. They do not think the same in the area of women's rights, gay rights, religion, and so forth. So the idea behind this is that if the Muslims assimilate, integrate, it's usually said, then all problems will disappear. Of course, this is a simple way of presenting things, but it's also very dangerous. Scholars from social psychology have shown that this actually is a part of a racist dialogue. In the West, in the North, it's no longer acceptable to talk in blatant prejudice, so racists move to a process of cultural inferiorization. You say that somebody is different culturally, and therefore you assume that that person is less as a human being. And that, of course, needs to be stopped as quickly as possible, and that's what our project will be focusing on. And we will be using the receptor approach, which has been mentioned already very often. For reasons of time, I will not go into it, but I'm more than happy to explain during discussion Q&A. We will do three things. First of all, we will make clear that actually values of Muslim people and majority people in Western European societies are actually quite congruent. There's not much difference between them. And we can say so on the basis of anthropological research that has been conducted, which says, and to people from the Muslim community that's not strange, Muslims are very good in adapting to new societies. So they bring their identity to new societies, but also fit in very well. And especially the work done by Bowen and Cesari shows us that that actually is happening. Also, of course, there's reason to believe, fortunately, that these Western European society, the people living there, also adjust in a positive way to the presence of people from a Muslim background. Second, perhaps even more importantly, there are differences, great. They're the flavor of society, but of course they need to be explained. They need to be explained. Yesterday somebody explained very clearly the background, for example, of the Islamic veil. And that has to happen more often, because there's a very good rationale for that, which is not very well known among people in the North. And third, sometimes, even though we have different values, we have to pursue common goals. And that can happen when we combine these values in a process which I call pairing, and I will give you an example of that at the end of my presentation. Now, we have been talking about a campaign to reduce blasphemy, and of course, blasphemy in the North in particular. And I'm a little bit skeptic about whether the current approach is going to work because of the attitudes in the North. First, many people, majority people in West European societies do not have a clue why blasphemy is so negative from a Muslim point of view. And we have to make that clear. We have to make that clear. Second, most members of majorities in Western European countries share liberal modernist values. They don't see religion as a very important part of their life. They're marginalizing religion. So blasphemy, they couldn't care less about blasphemy. And third, declarations calling on legal measures to combat blasphemy, I'm sure are not very successful, because in the North, freedom of expression has been elevated to such a high level, some people would say a fetish, that law is not going to work. But still, I think there's an option for success. And then we use this technique pairing that I mentioned already. And I will show you why that is relevant to the work we're doing today. In the Global South, blasphemy, of course, is something that needs to be combated. And the same is true for racism in the North. Of course, also in the South, but in the North, racism is something that is on the agenda of policymakers and people. Most of the blasphemous expressions you find in the North actually are blatant racist. They're not there to have religious critique on Islam. They're just there to insult people. So they're racist. And this is shown in a study by Mondal, Islam and Controversy, very good book. So what we should do is pairing to join the campaign against blasphemy in the South with a campaign against racist blasphemy in the North. And I think that that will work because it will appeal to policymakers as well. That is an example of pairing. I don't think that focusing on the law will work. We should focus on social institutions and especially the people. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was a people's document. It should be applied by the people. It should be in the hearts and minds of people, not address governments who have political motives sometimes to go along or not. Try to involve the people. I think that is also the message of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And especially for the campaign that's currently going on for organizations like Plan Arabia, try to team up with organizations in the North, have a northern footprint, because you need a good press in the North as well. You're not getting it now, and as I said also to the ambassador, my organization will be happy to work with Plan Arabia and others to make this, to turn this into a success. Now, one final note, as I said at the beginning, it's a comment of order, because we were so grateful as academics by the reception that we have received from our colleagues, the delegations that are involved in this. A few of us have sat together yesterday and decided to also take an initiative to match what is already happening. So my colleagues Al-Katani, El-Samak, Kamga and me have decided to take the initiative to set up a group of academics to complement and support the great initiative taken already. What we will do is work with the delegations to seek common values and of course also to explain different values. We have decided that we should act as the provisional bureau of that group, and of course we will be happy to contact all of you soon to see whether there are interesting ideas and how we can move forward. We will be working with UNESCO as we agreed this morning, and of course we will also be happy to work with the delegations that took the initiative. May peace be with you.